Greetings, it's the Priestess Infinite Prime back with another video. We were talking about the indigenous women being tired and just like us being able to exude like righteous anger and just like being able to speak our truth and to live authentically and to love ourselves, to make sure that we are choosing ourselves outside of other people who try to make us small and make us feel like we're not worthy, because society has taught us as women to feel like we are less than, that we are supposed to be like in some type of servitude, and that's all we're put here for, is for servitude and motherhood, and that is just absolutely not true. So I'll just go over a little bit of my story of my life, as far as uh, young adulthood up to now, and like what has led me to this point in my life to where I want to share with other women the just that there are other options out there outside of what a society is teaching us, as far as just being, that the highest height of a woman is just being like a wife and a mother. Like, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a wife and a mother, but it is something wrong with just being in servitude. And that is what being a wife and a mother is. It's just servitude. Yes, you love your kids and you may love your husband or your boyfriend or whatever you want to call it, but with these types of relationship, it is definitely servitude involved. Especially with the way that society has characterized women. And so my story is, I was in a relationship, a serious relationship, really young. um I ended up getting pregnant young. I was like 18. I had my child at 19. It was right out of high school, literally right out of high school. He was like a high school, it was a prom baby. So ended up having a baby young. um the relationship that I was in, he was a Cancer, and he was he was loving. I feel like to the degree of where he could be in a relationship for me. He did pretty good. Um, but I just feel like we were young. He was narcissistic though. So me being young, I don't know what narcissism means. We don't get any of these terms. They're all fairly new, especially to, I feel like, the masses. I feel like those who are given to get information are usually elite or higher up, because when I look at old interviews of celebrities and people who are important, they knew this stuff. We just didn't know it because it wasn't taught to us. And if you don't seek it out, you're not gonna be able to find it. And being young, I didn't know anything about narcissism, but he was like, everything was all about him. He was extremely selfish. He didn't have any care about what I thought or what would be best for our family. There were instances where I tried to have him make better decisions for job placements and stuff like that, but he would always do his own thing, and he just never really gave my words any thought. And these are the red flags that, like, of course, if I would have known better, I would have got out of the situation sooner. So we ended up having more children. He ended up, you know, cheating, and we ended up splitting. He filed for divorce. The irony, he cheated, but he filed for divorce. So we ended up splitting. It was tumultuous. It was very painful. We ended up having, like, I was actually pregnant when he left with our third child, and so that was rough. The I feel like the silver lining of it was that I was having a girl, so I was really happy that I was having a girl. I didn't really care about anything else because we had two boys, and so I was about to have my girl. So I was really happy, even though, like, things were falling apart and I was going through a divorce and I was pregnant and everything like that. Like, I was really happy that I was having a girl. Actually, I'm folding clothes right now. This is her her little cover. I crocheted her. I was so happy I was having her. So this was something that I made for her. Maybe I should have did this in color. This is a very colorful cover. It's like purple. This is trending purple, and this is like super duper colorful and gorgeous. Anyway, I was so happy to crochet this for her because I wanted to crochet something girly so bad. So anyway, I'm kind of folding clothes, y'all. That's why I got all these shirts. They're air drying. My shirts that I really like, I air dry. Anyway, so it was terrible. Like, it was a really bad divorce. There's a lot of just, verbal fighting, anger, a lot going on. Anyways, I had my daughter, and then like probably 6 months, 7 months later, I ended up getting in another relationship. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. Like I said, I was shooting in the dark. Nobody gave me any advice, and this is what I thought was the right thing to do, because in my mind I felt like I'm supposed to be in a relationship. I'm supposed to have a man, and I'm supposed to, like, the unit is incomplete without the father and all this type of stuff. And so I ended up getting in another relationship shortly after our divorce, and he's a Libra, really smart, but he was verbally abusive with me, and he just wasn't a great guy. He just wasn't. I learned some things from him, but I feel like you can learn from anybody. But he was, the servitude, women are supposed to be in the kitchen barefoot, pregnant type of energy, and just wanting to be served and taken care of. And he never did his part. He was never financially helpful, ever. And, he just was a manipulative type of dude. And, he stayed with me, but never helped out with anything. And, he did used to let me use his car from time to time, but that was where the buck stopped. So we had that shitty ass relationship, where things didn't work out. I ended up breaking up with him because I just couldn't take it anymore. It was just too much. And he was really emotionally unstable too. He didn't have like a lot of emotional intelligence. He was intelligent, but he didn't have a lot of emotional intelligence. So fast forward to the next relationship, which he is Virgo. Never again. She is a league of his own. I honestly was immature as far as why I was so attracted to him. It was just sheerly his appearance. He was very handsome to me. And I also knew him. We went to junior high school together briefly. We weren't friends, but we were cordial towards one another. And it was like a friend of a friend type of thing, how we ended up meeting up again. He was cool at the beginning, but he was the type of person, like, he showed one way, but he was really something completely different. He was rude. He was very nonchalant. He never really gave much emotion, like, at all. Like, I used to call him Eeyore, because he was always like, I feel like he was just always so very negative about stuff. His energy just was terrible. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I was so unhappy in our relationship, but I wanted things to work. I wanted things to be over, but at the same time, it's like I was trying to make things work. And there was a moment in time where I told him, like, I just wasn't happy anymore, and he was saying like he was gonna try harder or whatever, but it was all just really a farce, because he also was staying with me. And we ended up having a child together, and right after I had the child, he left, like, right after. Like, she wasn't even 3 months, and he ended up being in a new relationship with another girl. So that relationship was really bad. I was a little bit of into a depression, but what led me out of it was I used to always volunteer up at my kids' school. So I used to just take my daughter and I would go to the school and I would just volunteer my time up there. I volunteered my time up there so much that they ended up hiring me because they were just like, you are always here. You might as well just work here. And so I was just like, okay, like that's fine. Might as well get paid to do it. So I put my daughter in daycare and I ended up working at the school that my children went to, which was great because I loved and I was kind of a helicopter mom anyway, always around my kids. So ended up doing that, and it was cool because the daycare was like down the street. So on my lunch hour I used to breastfeed my daughter. It was so perfect. So on my breaks I breastfeed her and then get off and pick her up. So fast forward to the next relationship. Him and I never made anything official, but he was somebody that I met, and I actually met him while I was pregnant with my last daughter, but we just were friends. We were friends for like over a year, and then we lost touch with one another, and he is a Libra, and then we ended up getting together. Like, you know, he spent time with me and my kids, and he was really cool, and I really, really liked him, and I was really, really wanting to be with him, but things just didn't work out. He was like a street guy, but he was really sweet. His heart was golden. Like, he really was a great guy, but he was hood, and he was out there, you know, he was ripping and running the streets. And so things didn't really quite work out the way that I wanted them to, but I ended up getting pregnant, and the last time that I saw him, he was saying like he wanted to try to make things work, and that he was really happy that he was having a child with me because he said he really loved me, but he just was hard with committing. But he wanted to make things work, and then he died. So it's terrible that I'm laughing, but it's just like the tragedy in my life. All I can do is laugh now. It's been, I've healed from it, so I guess that's why I'm laughing about it. So he ended up dying from a motorcycle accident. So that was trash. Also, I was pregnant when he died. I was 2 months pregnant with our child. So that was tumultuous. That was really hard, but I really tried my best to stay happy in my situation because I did not want my daughter to be like one like crybaby ass, depressed ass babies. So I really tried my best. Of course, I would release and cry when needed, but I didn't do that a whole lot because I was just like, I really need to just focus on, you know, yes, he is gone, but he has left me a gift, which is my child. So I really stayed in that energy, and she is one of the happiest, if not the happiest child that I have. So I have 5 babies. So I just liken my life to just a lot of trials and tribulations when it came to relationships, and that's why I'm sharing this with you, because with every relationship, you know, I learned something, but I also realized that there was something going on with the men. Like, just really imbalanced men, but also that there was something wrong with me. Because why is it that I keep bringing this type of situation into my life? Also, after I was dealt with, and you know, the whole situation with the Libra transitioning, few years later, I ended up talking to another guy. We never made anything official, but he was terrible. I think that I was just really depressed and I was really broken in that situation. I shouldn't have been talking to anybody for like a while, but I felt like I was in a space of like loneliness, and instead of me just like pouring into myself and like focusing on myself, it's like we try to, as women, sometimes we try to outsource and try to find our happiness through other people. And that was my issue, is like a serial monogamous. You're always trying to find your happiness through other people. And that's where we fuck up, because you need to really find your joy and your happiness within yourself, because when you're able to pour into yourself and love into yourself, that's when you draw in the right type of energy. But if you're constantly looking outside of yourself for the love that you're supposed to have within yourself, you will constantly draw in narcissistic people. I don't care what you do. You keep outsourcing and pouring into other people and not pouring into yourself, you are going to be the universe's, well, the world's welcome mat. And that's exactly like what I started to see the pattern with myself. Like, you keep looking for love, like they say, looking for love in all the wrong place. I was looking for love in all the wrong places, and I was literally like drawing in like the same type of men, you know, um, outside of my last child's dad, but he still wasn't committal. He was sweet. He was lovely, like he really was, but he was had a hard time with commitment. And but I was never treated bad by him. Like he was very sweet to me. Um, but he was in and out because he was a street dude. Uh, but that last situationship that I was in, that's where the buck stopped. And I really had to take a hard look at myself. And it was rough, but I just stayed to myself, and I've literally been by myself since then. Like, because I just feel like there was a lot of healing that I had to do due to me and being 19 all the way up until that last situationship. Ooh, wow. That was, I think I was 33 was my last relationship, or 34. I think 34. Yeah, and I'm 42 now. So I just sat my ass down, and that's really when my spiritual journey began. I started really pouring into myself, and there was a lot of shadow work that had to be done to peel back the layers of my trauma. Why am I the way that I am? Why do I keep drawing in these type of people really? Because I feel like I've always magnetized narcissistic people, whether they be family, well, family, you can't help your family, but my friends, and my love relationships, narcissistic. Almost all of them, if not all of them. And so I had to like understand my value, and that if people are not reciprocating in the way that I am pouring into them, then they don't deserve my time or my love. And so, because of me like being celibate and just being to myself, I have learned so much about myself. I have very very thick boundaries. I am a reciprocator on all in all facets and forms. I will reciprocate whatever you pour into me, or not. So I'm quick to cut people off, and I'm really proud of myself for that, because I used to always try to always considering other people's feelings, never understanding to consider my own feelings. I'm always going out of my way to appease and be there for other people, but I wasn't there for myself. And like, that's the inner child healing that I had to do for myself, was like to be there for myself the way that I would be there for other people. And this stuff cannot be filtered out and cleared up overnight. Like, this takes a lot of time, with all those situations and stuff that I was into. I had to really heal myself. It was a very interesting role, but definitely worth it because of my peace of mind, and I don't just put up with anything. And I know my value and I know my worth now, and so that's what inspired me to do this channel, Order of the Divine Feminine, Order of the DCM. And Um, I really want to be able to help uplift other people, women mostly, but men are definitely welcome to walk into my channel and sit down and learn something, because men also can suffer from this too, like our narcissistic women. You know, it just all depends on your upbringing and your trauma and how you live it out, whether you are the one causing all the issues and problems, which would be the narcissist, or you're the one that's always getting the backhand and the back burner and just being the welcome mat for everybody, which would be the empath. So that's why I do what I do. And I really hope that my story can encourage others to know that you're not alone. You know, like people want to always perceive themselves as something just so perfect and infallible, and like that is so incorrect, because to be human is to be flawed. So just know that the whole point of being here is to recognize the patterns and see the flaws and see the issues that you have with yourself, and do your very best to fix them, you know, to heal yourself. And that's how we heal the world. People thinking you have to go outside of yourself and try to help and heal people. That's what I thought. No, but I was a whole mess myself and just put myself through a lot of problems, and, you know, dealing with people who didn't deserve my energy or my time. And so I have learned that. So it's like, you know, don't feel bad about what you've been through or how you handled your life and the failed relationships. And, you know, they're all lessons. It's like if you take it as a lesson and you grow from it, then you'll be just fine. So I just wanted to share that story time with you guys. I hope that it speaks to somebody. I hope that it encourages someone. I hope it helps other people get out of, you know, fucked up relationships that don't deserve their time. Or I hope that it helps the narcissist to see that, you know, it's not always about them, and that they need to consider other people, because everybody here is, you know, is wanting to be loved and appreciated. The empath is looking for it and the narcissist is looking for it. It's just the way that it reflects differently. It comes off a lot more off-putting with the narcissist. People are so sympathetic towards the empath because it's just like they're the one relinquishing all of their energy. But then also you have to make yourself responsible for relinquishing all the energy. Only thing I will say is that the world has devised a plan to prey more, of course, on the empath, because they want to make the world more selfish anyway. So the empath unfortunately gets the backhand of the situation, which empathic energy is feminine energy. And that's why a lot of women suffer more from this than men. Like, because men always say, well, we not the only ones doing it. Yes, it's true. But like, look around you. It doesn't take you much to realize that the woman is the one suffering the most, because we are the ones that are expected to be of servitude and of service. And those who are of service are more empathic, period. So I don't want this to go too long. I hope that this has helped you. And yeah, I'll be talking about other things on this channel. I think the next thing that I want to focus on is healing modalities for us, because I said that I was going to speak on that in the indigenous woman Ancient Tire video. I was talking about healing modalities and the ways that we could take the steps, because there was a lot of stuff that I had to like go through in order to heal myself. It wasn't just like, oh, I know this about me now, oh, everything is better. Like, no, like I had to go through stuff. I had to heal myself. There was a lot of healing that had to be done, and I'll start sharing, like, you know, on my healing journey, the things I did in order to help to clear myself, to forgive myself, to forgive others, loving on myself more, spending more time in solitude by myself, journaling is so important. Okay, my book is full, and I've got other books. Like, getting your energy and your feelings out is so important. And also you can see the progress of your life, you know, the progress of your psychological understanding of yourself and other people. So I'm gonna end this video right here. This is the Priestess Infinite Prime. You guys take care. Peace.